This is WizardShack. It's a podcast of sorts. So they say.
Hey, what is up? Just getting started here. Got a few things going tonight. Just a few. Just a little bit. Not a whole lot today. Doing some talking about Star Wars, of course, and what's new, right? That's the typical always on the mind here. It's a shit show. It's a fucking piece of shit.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Yeah, that's fucking accurate, though. I will say that. That is fucking accurate. Yeah, and also stuff with JK Rowling's. And you can find us at wizard_shack on Twitter. You'll find us there. WizardShack on everything else. You just search WizardShack me. We'll come across stuff. I got to get a link tree. So I can just say link tree WizardShack and everything will be there. Everything will be there. And I'm also starting to think of a different show. I might be doing a horror movie show where we talk about obscure horror movies, some weirdo stuff, stuff where I could like maybe do some behind the scenes type stuff. I know a little bit, that kind of thing. Might be in the works. Might be doing that next week. That could be the next thing. Oh yeah. So yeah, just a few things here tonight. Unpacking some things. Investigations are ongoing.
I'm just happy everyone got to see me. What the
Investigate 311.
There we go. Star Wars to get destroyed with agenda, even more so. I mean, this has been the case. There's been this agenda that's happening here, and as if it wasn't enough, there's going to be more. Here you go. This is from the pinknews.com, and you take that site for what it is. I'm assuming this is a win for them, for the pinknews.com. The upcoming Star Wars TV show, The Acolyte, is packed with LGBTQ plus the alphabet gang here, talent, and we're already obsessed. Oh my god, what? That seems like not enough letters. They got to start adding a lot more. The fact that C-3PO is a camp icon aside, I guess they're saying three C-3PO is a fact there. That's the vibe I was getting right there. Aside from C-3PO being a droid, a queer droid, I guess. The Star Wars universe started out as a startlingly heteronormative place. Jeez. If you refer to anything as heteronormative, I know what side of the aisle you're on. I've never spoken that word in my life other than reading this here. However, in recent years, TV series like the Disney Plus Acolyte have tried to remedy that. So, oh god, we're gonna be getting more of that. And so far, has it worked out well? Not too much. Here's another look here. Another article I saw on Bounding into Comics. It's good website. I always get some good stuff there. Good writers on their stuff. I feel like they're the same aisle I am. If I'm on that terrible aisle on I'm part of the far middle. So in that middle aisle, I'm part of the far middle. The Acolyte star Jodie Turner-Smith. I don't know who that is, but if I do a Google search, I should have looked this up before because I read this headline before and I was like, I don't know who she is. Okay, she is the black woman in the trailer. She praises how the series is part of a wave of more inclusive and beautifully represented Star Wars shows. How many more shows do we need? I mean, it's crazy how many things there are. I truly remember when there was 3 movies. 3 movies, and everyone was going nuts about there being a 4th of the Phantom Menace coming out. And what's the Phantom Menace? That's a cool name. And then it hit. And I mean, it looks a lot better now, but those movies are fucking shit. That's the sad part about that is like it's become liked because those other things have come out have been shit. But yeah, we have 12 Star Wars movies or something now. And there's more coming. And then we have all these TV shows. We have hours and hours of content of Star Wars where it was nice when it was just a little bit smaller. And it was never meant to be. I feel like when you look at it, it was never meant to be some big expanded thing. It was I know I heard Red Letter Media talk about it. It's a King Arthur fantasy story just into space. It's Space Knights, that's all it was. And it was never meant to be much more than that. I don't think that's ever what George Lucas wanted. Although he claims he's like, "Oh, I had the prequels written out beforehand, and I decided to start with the fourth movie." That's what you decided to start with? The fourth one? And I mean, hey, we're gonna start talking about inspiration. Jesus Christ, look at Dune. Look at Dune. Like Dune compared to Star Wars. I mean, there's so much stuff that's taken there. There's so much stuff. I mean, Luke and Paul are very similar. I mean, I saw like a chart. I wish I had this chart. I wish there was like an infographic, but yeah. Okay, here we go. I found it. It didn't take me long. Yeah, it's like poetry. Everything kind of rhymes, I decided I wanted to push the boundaries of filmmaking, and I grew up in the San Francisco area, and everyone had their cars and all that, but I wanted to make with movies with Francis Ford Coppola. He made a student film. I mean, that's how you know someone's like rich and loaded. His student film is like $1 million budget kind of thing. But here you go. Here is the comparisons here. Princess Aaliyah in Dune, who is the Empress's daughter, who plays a little bit of a role in this sequel going on, Dune Part 2. Tatooine, obviously desert planet. We know what we're talking about there. We got Dune, desert planet. Sandcrawler, that's the ones that are mining for spice in Dune. And then, of course, we know we got them with the Jawas. They're different. Moisture farmers, it's kind of similar to the dew collecting going on by the Fremen. Spice mines of Kessel, obviously. That's a mention to the spice of Dune. The Jedi mind trick, definitely. The Jedi are very much have these vibes, the Bene Gesserit. Jedi Bendu. Okay, this is a little bit more like later stuff. The visions of Obi-Wan appears to Luke on Hoth while he seems to be dying. The same thing happens to Paul. He's got visions the whole time. The Trade Federation is a monopoly on the shipping. The Space Guild is a monopoly on the shipping and the transport in the Dune with the spice, obviously. Luke practices lightsaber. Aaliyah practices sword technique. Millennium Falcon barely escapes. The Dorth on a cover barely escapes from the jaws of the sandworm. Even like the sandworms are kind of in Star Wars too. They have like the Sarlacc pit. Seems kind of similar. Luke spies on the Sand People. Paul spies on the Fremen. Got Jabba, who is definitely kind of like a worm slug thing, which is the same thing with kind of the same thing going on with the Emperor and also like the Baron von and Horkin or whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of ripoffs there. But that's besides the point. We're talking about the agenda that's being pushed by really. The agenda is what's crazy. This is agenda by Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant. Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant. She worked under the mogul Harvey Weinstein as his assistant for 1 year during his time at Miramax. Okay, that makes me realize something a little bit more. I mean, hey, we don't know if this is exactly true. It could have been longer, but I always thought she had more dirt on her. There was more Weinstein smut that was on her. But yeah, she said she's the queen of raunch comedy, and she's going to be focused on this Star Wars series. And so far, how's that working out for you? How's that working out? Is that working out good? You sure that's a really good idea? Like, you sure about that, Disney?
You sure about that? You sure about that? That's why? You sure it wasn't because after the thing that happened to me, no one could look at me without dying laughing? You sure about that? You sure about that's not why?
Yeah, and look at this. Look at this Acolyte trailer. I mean, you can see right here on the right, You got the likes, you got the dislikes. We got the dislikes in the bottom there, but you can see on the right the 9.5 million views. So it's got a lot of fucking views. Likes 187,000. It's about that. Dislikes 634,000. I am one of the dislikes, as you can see right there. That is a fucking lot. And I'll play the trailer because I've been playing it and trying to I'm just trying to glean a story from this. Every time I see it, I can't tell what the fuck is happening. That's something I want to know. I mean, I get it. Trailers are meant to be, trying to get you into it. They don't want to give everything away, but I can't even understand a story what's happening here. I guess it's just about the old world Jedi, and there is Sith coming back, which again is against the canon. I know we know in the prequels, I think it's Attack of the Clones, where they say oh, Sith hasn't been around for 1,000 years. So obviously this isn't true. This is only, I think, this is in the time of Yoda, which you unfortunately know that means Yoda's going to be in this, which is disgusting. But yeah, here's this monkey man. He can close his eyes. There's an alien that can't close his eyes, but you'll see.
Close your eyes. Your eyes can deceive you. We must not trust them. Tell me what comes into your mind.
Life. Balance. I see fire.
Someone is killing Jedi. It doesn't make sense.
What happened?
I sensed darkness.
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use it.
What is that?
Red lightsaber. Uh-oh, you know what that means? Red lightsaber, you know what that means? It means 634 downvotes. 634,000 downvotes. That's what that means. Comparatively, or let's talk about Obi-Wan trailer. Look at this. This was complete shit. So don't get me wrong. This was shit too. But yeah, Obi-Wan, 225,000 downvotes. So not even close. Mandalorian, I remember, was a little bit contemptuous at the time. All the Star Wars fans were like, what the fuck is this? I remember that. I remember the Star Wars fans were really skeptical of the show, especially at first too. Even when it came out, they were like, I don't like the music. I don't like this. They didn't like it at first, and then they started to like it. 22,000 downvotes right there. Ahsoka, which was really bad. I watched that whole show. Awful. I have to watch Andor because I saw Red Letter Media's review on it, and I know we got a fan of our channel, Mick Sixaplex, who likes this, and I do trust him on that. He likes Andor. Ahsoka, look at that, 39,000 downvotes, almost 40K. Book of Boba Fett. I would say this was a little bit better than Ahsoka, but not much. Not much. The bench they don't got a deep bench for Star Wars. This has 7.2 thousand. I think there's also a lack of caring for this too. It actually only has 12 million views total. It's actually not far off from the Acolyte view number. The Last Jedi, which was the beginning of the end for Star Wars. That was the beginning of the end. I feel like Force Awakens, be it fan service, it was still sort of interesting. And you were like, okay, it was interesting at first. Everyone liked it at first. And then they were like, on second thought, I don't know about what the fuck I watched. It seemed like a ripoff of everything else. And then like, all right, it would have been fine. It would have been fine if you actually put a second and a third movie that are actually good. So 48,000 downvotes. So this has got a lot. I mean, this was atrocious. And I can't stand the Star Wars fans that like this. I don't. This was really like, to me, it was like this was my big moment of like, this is a spit in the face. I was a younger person when the prequels came out, so I think I had a little bit of a warmer spot for it than maybe the older people who liked the original series. Still, I thought they were shit, but they were kind of like interesting and a little innovative. I'll say that. This was just like fucking terrible. You got fucking Princess Leia floating around. You got this. I don't know. And then even worse was this, the story that lives forever, the Rise of the Skywalker. Now, if I have to say which one I like better, I like the Rise of Skywalker, but it's kind of for the wrong reasons than most. I like it because of how fucking crazy this movie is. It's insane. Like, nothing makes sense. And if you didn't see any of these movies before it, you just saw this, you'd be like, what the fuck is happening? This is what they decided to do. Like, if you didn't see Force Awakens or anything else, and like this is what they think a Star Wars movie is, and the Emperor's back, who the main point of the first trilogy was killing the Emperor and having, Anakin or whatever, Darth Vader really, Anakin's later, having Darth Vader redeemed, having Luke's big mission essentially was getting his father to the good side. Like that was a big thematic thing. And then now, oh no, the Emperor somehow returns. But let's see what Leslie Headland has to say. And I mean, fuck. It's gonna be very cool, the show. There's gonna be lightsabers, it's gonna be very cool. There's gonna be red lightsabers.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Voy Kurag.
Gotta clap for that.
Gotta clap for it.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Amazing.
Whoa. Very cool.
Wow.
You can't be more amazing without that burger shake. But yeah, let's see what she's got to say. So we dive into her past projects, and she's made over the years, and she's got to an idea that the woman described as the queen of raunch comedy. I don't know what that means. Like, does that haircut show that off? I don't know what's going on here. She's got the cabbage patch kind of like sour face here. Early in her career, she worked for Harvey Weinstein, the darling of Hollywood, right there, Old Testament. In 2012, Headland said that Weinstein influenced her raunchy female comedy, Bachelorette, which was first a play and later a film. I don't remember Bachelorette. I gotta search it. Don't remember it. I don't really know this. Unless she's talking about like the TV show, but I think she's talking about. Okay, yeah, she's talking about a shitty movie, a really shitty movie. Yeah, she wrote and directed it. Okay, now I see. It's a Christian Dunst, Isla Fisher movie with Rebel Wilson, and I do like Lizzie Kaplan, so unfortunately Lizzie Kaplan had her way into that, and that sucks for her. But yeah, this movie's been forgotten in time. I mean, I don't even remember this. Don't even remember this, and I'm pretty good with my film not remembering of shitty comedy movies. First a play, then a movie, terrible. She developed a series called Assistance. Okay. Where she takes aim at the sin of pride, particularly that a self-proclaimed Christians who would counsel praying away the gay. Okay. Yeah, I could see taking on that. That's some bitterness. Just trying to get at that there. But she told Theater in 2018 that she was shocked by the Weinstein takedown and so emboldened by the chorus of voices that brought him down. Oh, sure. That's what happens when you choose your side. You were all for him when back in what it looks like 2012 right there. And as soon as he's the pariah, then he's you're along with the voices against him. I see what you did. I see what you did there. When someone's screaming at you and the whole bunch of grown men are in the same room and you don't do anything, that tells you something right about what kind of danger you may or may not be in. Okay. Believe me, I'm looking at you. You're not in any danger. I'm sorry. I mean, you ain't in danger. You're not like a Rose McGowan. Far from it. Far from it. So from plays to movies, she's the queen of raunch comedy. Here's her with oh, this kind of sucks. I do like the Alison Brie. Alison Brie over here. Glow fame right there. She worked with Jason Sudeikis. But I'm not really sure on what here. I guess it's called Sleeping with Other People. A raunch com. She's such a raunchy comedian. She's such a raunchy comedian. This Headley. Come on. Well, she said, I meant to take important pieces of work that everyone's losing their mind laughing about, the whole blowjob monologue and bottle scene, to Star Wars. That's what she wants to do. She wants to infuse LGBTQ plus HIJK into the Acolyte. She said, you can expect some sort of expression of my own artistic dream and just my voice and what it looks like in that universe. For sure. Do we need to see that? I thought this was for kids. Like, do you remember when Star Wars was for kids, for children? You could be like a child and play with your Star Wars toys. No. Now you're going to have to play with represented LGBTQ plus HIJK Star Wars toys. Yeah. In the same way that the original Star Wars films is a New Hope, which is about a young man living in Modesto, California, who doesn't want to take over his dad's hardware store. I guess. She also talked about the characters in her stories, made it clear they will all be queer in some way. So all these characters that you'll be watching Acolyte will be queer in some way. I think that because storytelling at its core is queer. It's fictions for fictions for fags, right? It's always going to come down to either the personal choice or emotional through line to your characters. Your identity is important. And like I said, mine is just going to be my work. Whether I'm explicitly dealing with it or not, it's always going to be there. There will always be queer in her work. So that's the Acolyte right there for you. Speaking of Entertainment Weekly, are they weekly? I don't think they're around anymore. There's weekly should be dropped here. Who's reading that shit weekly? I remember when it was, but I don't think it is anymore. She promised that Star Wars will see more morally ambiguous characters that you've seen in Star Wars content. Is that a slight at the LGBT community? Are they morally, questionable right there? Is that what she's saying? Because that seems a little prejudiced. Transgender actor Abigail Thorne, a biological male who identifies as a woman, was hired for the role of Ensign Eurus, and Jen Richards is one of the writers. Okay. I don't know who Jen Richards has to do there, but yeah. So a gay non-binary star, Amanda Steinberg, stars in the show, as well as Charlie Bennett, an outspoken gay star. So she's really playing into that. Disney Studio Elemental included a non-binary character, and the movie had one of the worst. See, here's where you start to see the real truth here. Disney, this is right here. This is it. This is also like, do you want to take? Again, I don't think any of this stuff matters. I'm on the side of, I'm an adult, so I don't care. But if I had kids, would I really be wanting to take them to a movie where I have to explain everything about, LGBTQ character and their representation and how, they have to be represented in, today's day and age? Like, I don't want to deal with that. I want to put on fucking, I don't know, The Hobbit from the 70s. I want to put on the sound of what is it? The Song of the South or something. I don't know. Maybe that's more explaining to do. The movie had one of its worst openings, Elemental, because it had a non-binary character. Was it because of that, or was it just a bad story? I think a little bit of both. I don't think people really want a non-binary character. It only made $29 million at the box office. What are we at with Dune? It's in like the 160 million range. It's something crazy. Strange World. It's more than that, probably. I'm sure it's going to be making $1 billion worldwide. So crazy. Strange World, another one involving a same-sex teen romance, was a box office flop for the company. So has it worked out well for you, Disney? Is it really working out for you? Are you sure about this is the way to go? You sure you need more representation in your movies? Representation.
You sure about that? You sure about that? That's why? You sure it wasn't because after the thing that happened to me, no one could look at me without dying laughing? You sure about that? You sure about that's not why?
What's up, Mixoplex? Yeah, I was just talking about Star Wars. Typical stuff here. I gotta check out Andor. It's on my list now. What's up, man? Hope everything's going good with you. Gotta check that out though. According to Disney Plus, the Acolyte will be TV 14. So your 14-year-olds will be indoctrinated just as much as your 18-year-olds. They're involved. And let's see this. Headland talked about a new series will be like the children's movie Frozen, which she labeled as coded queer. I didn't think that was the case. I've never seen Frozen, but I guess it's a coded queer film. Fun, right? Fun stuff. That's what you get with Star Wars nowadays. That's what you get, man. That's the agenda we have. They're pushing this agenda. Is it working out? So far, no. I would say no. I would say no at all. I mean, look at these numbers. I mean, that's the. Yeah, I watched the Red Letter Media review on it, and I really was impressed by that because they do not. I kind of feel like they're similar to me, where I kind of can't really get in on any of this new Star Wars, and to hear them talk about it was pretty nice. And what I saw maybe the first 3 episodes, and I don't know why I didn't give it. I don't know why I kept going with it. I did like what they were talking about was true. I liked that like Imperial character. Yeah, I think it's kind of funny they mentioned this. The thing I disliked about it was Andor. I kept thinking like this character kind of sucks. Like he is to me like the worst part of it, or like the nothing plot girl. That's kind of like the romance, or kind of not. But everything else was cool. The Stellan Skarsgård character is good, although he's kind of always a standout. But yeah, look at the Acolyte. Look at the Acolyte here. 634,000 downvotes, and I'm part of that. I'm part of that. See my little... I'll do it again. Part of it. Yeah, what else do I got here? I only got one more thing to talk about. Doing a short thing tonight. JK Rowling, she dares the police to arrest her. This is kind of crazy. This whole situation is nuts. And I actually have a friend who's in Scotland, and he was talking about this law the other day, and he's like, it's insane. He said, like, this place is so crazy. You walk. This is the thing too. You walk down the street in England, UK, Ireland, even London, which is kind of more of a populated place, of course. But he says, you see like no black people. They actually only make up 3% of their population. But by law, BBC has to have 33% representation of black people. So you see tons of it on the commercials. He was saying, and it's like, this just doesn't make sense. It's like there's all this representation that's like just out of nowhere. JK Rowling dares police to arrest her, and he even said how this is becoming a thing. Like, I mean, I don't like saying it. I think I just like saying it because it's jokes and laughs, or I think it's kind of coming back the word, but the word calling someone a fag or a faggot, that's a big deal over there. He says, like, you can, like, if you call someone like a faggot, like, their jaws will be dropped, and like you'll be like, they'll be so offended. You can't say it. Like you could get arrested, and that's sort of what's happening here. Sort of what's happening here with JK Rowling. She's daring the police to arrest her. What happened was, let's see this. Here's like the start of this whole situation. Start of this was not from the New York Post. Always a good troll type New York magazine there. Very conservative magazine for New York, which is funny. I think they like to troll New York. J.K. Rowling could be arrested for misgendering trans people. The poll warns. Yeah, look at this. A lot of people are on her side here. I stand with J.K. Rowling. Men are not women. Yeah, and I mean that's the funny part about this is it really does. I think people don't understand how much this lessens women's rights. Like it's kind of funny. Like, is she a anti-trans person, or is she just a super advocate for feminism? Which that might not be your thing. You guys are the only ones with the free coded into your laws. Yeah, free speech. Yeah. Oh yeah, we do have it. That's kind of something what's nice here. I don't know if it's true or not. I think they're trying to take that away, but I don't know. I have to say this, like, I think America is really, and I know I've heard the same thing with Canada. I know the same thing with Canada mix. It's like I've heard what's his name? Trudeau's going to probably be out the next time around. It'll be a conservative guy. I think the whole world is turning a little bit against this. I think the UK might be a little too far. They just have so much government that they're stuck. People in America don't deal with shit. They don't want to deal with it. And I think we're like the one country that we're really rebelling against this woke stuff. And it's not cool to be woke anymore. Like there was a point where it was kind of cool to be like a liberal. That those tides have turned. And I remember it. It also kind of had to do with like George Bush was a big piece of shit. Back in the early 2000s, George Bush was a big piece of shit. And if you were anti-George Bush, that was kind of cool. And like the people who were, the Republican Party was a lot douchier. And they still are douchey. But the whole woke stuff has just gotten too far. That's the thing is the left, the extreme left has gotten too loud and too far. So it's crazy. And Canada's definitely going to be changing too. They're going to be, I mean, I know there's certain states in Canada, like Alberta, that don't deal with this shit. Like they're not on board with any of this crap. Yeah, we do have free speech, but hopefully that stays. Let's see what she was saying here. She dared the police to arrest her because of this new law that's coming out, which is insane. Insane that there's a new law. Misgendering trans people is now considered a woke hate crime. The freedom of speech is pretty much thrown out the window here. It's crazy. I'm currently out of the country, but if what I've written qualifies as an offense under the terms of the new act, I look forward to being arrested when I return to my birthplace of the Scottish Enlightenment. Yeah. It's fucking insane. Whether or not the police would think I was a criminal is up to the police of Scotland for that. I don't think that'll happen. I don't think that happened, but I like her little point here. I like her little digs here. Yeah, and I was looking at her. She really goes into it. She's pretty funny. I have to say, like, she's pretty hardcore into this. She's not like backing down. I have to say that's something about her that I do find like attractive is it's not like she said one comment and like kind of stopped because she's like, oh no, everyone kind of didn't like that. She doesn't give a shit. She's like full blown into this. This is her like, I don't know, like 10th or 12th like mention of being against this stuff. It's been a big thing here. Scotland's hate crime act comes into effect today. Women gain no protection, of course, which is, again, you're going to see she is just a super feminist. I really do question if I like a lot of her beliefs, but believe me, I think she's right on this. Like a lot of these trans rights do take away from actual women. And, you know, that's a little bit of a problem too. Like this is the line that they cross that it's a little weird. It's a little weird. I got that Rachel Zegg clip. This is weird, you know? This is a weird thing.
Yeah. Weird. So we didn't do that this time. Cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. It's Hollywood, baby. It's Hollywood, baby.
Yeah, here's this tweet with this trans person holding knives and axes. I heard you hate trans women, knives and axes. Love from Glasgow. That's where my friend is. It's been real. Here's this person. I'm going to sleep. Hopefully when I wake up, it's a good news. Be nice to yourself. Remember to breathe and that she's fucking coming after you if you don't agree with her. That's essentially what it looks like. Here's JK Rowling's also kind of talking about this. Lovely Scottish lass. Convicted double rapist. Isla Bryson found her true, authentic female self shortly before she was sentenced. Misgendering is hate, so respect Isla's pronouns, please. Love the leggings. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Interesting move there. Yeah, that is a good move. Fragile Flower Katie Dwowski, 6'5", by the way. 6'5". This was rightly sent to women's prison in Scotland after conviction. Oh my god, they sent this guy to fucking women's prison. Women's prison. I mean, at least I'll say we're not doing that. We ain't doing that yet. There's nothing like that's not happening here. I think they watched Orange is the Black too many times here. This ensured she was protected from violent, predatory men, unlike the 10-year-old girl Katie sexually assaulted in a women's public bathroom. Wow. Yeah, it's funny. You read these things. This is not fake. This is real. And yeah, I mean, that's the unfortunate truth of this is there is evidence to back up these people being fucking creeps. And not to say all trans people are creeps, but this is weird. This is what happens when you have these laws and people take advantage of it. It just happens. Samantha Norris, Sam, was cleared of exposing her penis to two 11-year-old girls. Hooray. Unfortunately, she was then convicted for possession of 16,000 images of children being raped and sexually assaulted. Be that as it may, Sam's still a lady to me. So she's going to women's prison. Predator with child pornography and acts of actually exposing themselves to children. That's horrifying. Horrifying. I mean, that's the thing is like if you do have, let's say you have like a daughter to deal with these people and say, it's just, God's crazy. I don't even want to think about that. Scottish woman and butcher, Amy George here on the left and, there on the right. It's got some serious Photoshop and light exposure going on there. I don't know. Whatever the problem, they abducted an 11-year-old girl while dressed in female clothing. No idea why this was mentioned in no idea why this was mentioned in court. Of course, she was wearing women's clothes. She's a woman. Amy took the girl home and sexually abused her over a 27-hour period. This is all in Scotland too. This is just Scotland stuff, by the way. You can probably point out more that's in the UK. Same thing goes with here. I'm sure we have it. If they got it, we got it. Come on. They got it, we got it. But most women aren't axe toters or sex offenders. So let's talk role models. Gilia Valentino in the red. I already see what's wrong here. So this guy is playing women's soccer. Jesus Christ. Gilia Valentino in the red wanted to play one of the women's teams because of sisterhood, validation, and political visibility. Naturally, she was given some boring cis girls' plays. Yay for inclusion. All in Scotland still. Let's see here. Murdell Wadla, head of a Scottish Rape Crisis Center, says sexual violence happens to bigoted people as well. She has no gender recognition certificate, but was still appointed to a job advertised for women only. Time to be challenged on your prejudice, rape victims. So, Jesus. I mean, it's funny. She's going into this. It's funny. There's multiple here. There's 11 different examples of this, which it's crazy. This isn't like a one-off thing, and this is, it's going to be more. There will be more. Here we go. Monroe Bergdorf isn't just a pretty face. I mean, I get it. Very feminine looking, I guess. Public campaigner for a children's charity until safeguarding concerns were raised. She was appointed UN's woman's first ever UK champion. What makes a woman has no definitive answer, says Monroe. It's a great choice for the UN women right there. Great choice. And then let's see. Here's some more. Katie Neves has been appointed to the UN Women UK delegate. She switched from a straight man to a lesbian at the age of 48. Is that any fucking different? See, that's fucking crazy. If you're into women as a man, and then you're gonna be a trans lesbian, it's just, that's confusing. I mean, I guess I get it that you just don't feel like you look or want to appear like a man, and you want to, but obviously still into women. Obviously still kind of taking on the man's role of being sexually attracted to women. Here we go. Katie Neves, in a leaked 2022 webinar, described how she used to enjoy stealing and wearing her sister's underwear. Here you go. JK Rowling saying, a truly relatable representative. I guess so. In this country, it seems like it. And this is where this all kind of happened. She started to make fun of this. I don't know if she'd make fun of it. She was kind of pointing out some things about India Willoughby, and this is where India Willoughby was like, I'm gonna fucking call the cops on you. And I think she did, and the cops are like, we can't do anything. And last but not least, TV's India Willoughby. She's a news reporter, anchor kind of thing, or correspondent on the BBC, because why not? Proves we women can call a black broadcaster a nasty bitch. This is a quote of hers, who wouldn't be anywhere without woke. Dub lesbians men, insult the looks of a female Olympic swimmer, joke about kidnapping feminists, and still get airtime. What a gal. Yeah. What a gal, man. Wow. Here you go. India Willoughby is calling everyone on the list a sex offender, excluding only himself. What was the twist I didn't see coming? Yeah, this is crazy. This is the person who is so anti JK Rowling, and look at all this. April Fools, only kidding. Obviously, the people mentioned above tweets aren't women at all. I love that little troll line right there. But men, every last one of them, in the passing of the Scottish Hate Crime Act, Scottish lawmakers seem to have placed higher value on the feelings of men performing there. I mean, that's kind of funny. It's true. It is like another win in a sense for men against any, females there. They're taking their rights. It's kind of funny. Takes a man to win Jeopardy and do all these other things like what's going on in the U.S. here. Amy something, I forget her name. She's a good Jeopardy player, but it's funny how, like, these finalists and these champions were all men, and one was a trans person, but it was still a guy. So like, these women aren't doing too good in Jeopardy. Takes a man to do good in Jeopardy, I guess. Yeah. But here we go. Allowing let's see what she was at. Where was I? Actually, women there place higher value on the feelings of men performing their idea of femaleness. However, misogyny or opportunistically than the other rights and freedoms of actual women and girls. The new legislation is wide open to abuse by activists who wish to silence those of us speaking out about the actual dangers of eliminating women's and girls' single-sex spaces. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, look, we've seen examples here of what you do when they get into those spots. That's pretty bad. The nonsense made of crime data is violent and sexual assaults committed by men are recorded as female crimes. It's crazy. The grotesque unfairness of allowing men to compete in female sports, the injustice of taking over women's jobs, honors and opportunities being taken from women for trans women, but obviously biologically male. For years now, Scottish women have been pressured by their government and members of the police force to deny the evidence of their, this could be about rape or something like that, or because it's unproved, untestable. And look at this. It's even more. Even men are now getting more their way. There's some truth to that. There's some truth to that. It's impossible to accurately describe or tackle the reality of violence and sexual violence committed against women and girls, or address the current assault on women's rights, girls' rights, unless we're allowed to call a man a man. Freedom of speech and belief are at an end in Scotland. It does kind of feel like that. And she says here to close that I'm currently out of the country, but with what I've written here qualifies in defense of the new terms of the new act. I look forward to being arrested. Yeah, I mean, she's fucking right. That's fucking based. That's right as hell. Crazy ass bitches here.
What is it? What's wrong, sister?
Shit, man. That's about it for tonight. Yeah, we're Wizard_Shack. You see right there on Twitter. There's my little handle there. I might be back doing a horror movie show next Tuesday. That could be the thing. I'm thinking about calling it Fright Finds. Talk about I like some obscure horror movies, and I wanted to maybe kind of showcase one a week or something. Do a short little podcast on that. Have it separate from WizardShack. On WizardShack, of course, we'll be on this channel, but it'll be its own little show. I can go through things like that. I could show clips. I can show the trailer. I could talk about some behind the scenes things. That might be the new plan. But we'll be back on Friday, probably to complain about more wokeness and stuff. And the investigation is on. Yeah, have a good night, man. It'll be cool, man. Next Tuesday, I'm thinking of doing it. That's what I'm thinking. It'll be cool. I like a lot of 80s horror, so that could come into play. But yeah, we'll be back, and the investigation will continue on the woke culture.
I'm just happy everyone got to see me.
Investigate 311.